Hello out there, you're watching everything you need to know about Star Wars X-Wing Miniatures game. And for this first look at the expansions in Wave 1, I thought we would keep it simple and go with X-Wing. What a surprise, that's the name of the game. You may already have a core set, in fact 2 core sets, which would mean you already have 2 X-Wings, so why on earth would you need a 3rd X-Wing? Well, that's a question I hope to answer with this video, why you should get the X-Wing expansion. First of all, X-Wings are relatively cheap in terms of their squad value. You're going to be playing with 100-point squads. As in the last video, I had 40-point squads on either side. When you get up to the 100-point range, you're probably going to need a couple of X-Wings to fill those gaps. There's an X-Wing that's included with the Rebel Transport, which I'll review later. There's 1 with each core set, and I do recommend purchasing 2 of those. And so if you have the Rebel Transport expansion, 2 core sets, and you get this, you'll have a total of 4 X-Wings. Let's look what's included in this expansion. First of all, the actions this X-Wing can do are target lock and focus, so you get the appropriate tokens with that, as well as your critical damage and your stress. Everything that you would normally expect to having another X-Wing is included. The appropriate ship tokens are included, which correlate with the pilots, and I'll get to those in a second. We have 2 generic pilots, Red Squadron Pilot and Rookie Pilot, both of which are included with the core set. So if you already have 2 core sets, this is just an extra copy of those. The upgrades, we have Marksmanship and Proton Torpedoes, which are both included in the core set, so those are already familiar. So let's look at what sets this apart. Well, you get 2 new pilots who are very unique. First of all, you get Garvin Dreas, who has a PS6. His ability is, after spending a focus token, you may place that token on any other friendly ship at range 1 or 2 instead of discarding it. So 2 ships can share the same focus each round. Only one has to use it for their action. The other one can go ahead and get their target lock, or they can use marksmanship for the turn. Whatever action they want to, they can do and share the same focus. That costs 26 points, by the way. Wedge Antilles is actually the best X-Wing pilot in the game. Nope, it's not Luke Skywalker, it's Wedge. He has a PS9, he has a squad total of 29 points, and he also has an elite talent, which a lot of guys don't have. They have the torpedo and the astromech, but Wedge has the elite talent. It says, when attacking, reduce the defender's agility value by 1 to a minimum of 0. So anytime Wedge attacks, the defender is going to roll 1 fewer green die. You see everything else is consistent with an X-Wing pilot, but this is the best X-Wing that you're going to have. 29 points for Wedge, so he's not cheap, but definitely worth it. The upgrades we have, again, Proton Torpedoes, I may not have mentioned in the last video. This is a one-time use only. You're going to spend your attack for the turn, you're going to spend a target lock, and you'll have to discard this card after you've used it once. X-Wings only have 1 torpedo slot in their upgrade bar, so you're only going to have 1 Proton Torpedo. It's a secondary attack where you roll 4 dice instead of your normal 3. By the way, your advantage at range 1 of rolling 1 extra die does not apply with a secondary weapon. So if you're attacking at range 1, you're going to be doing an extra die for your primary attack. This secondary attack only works from range 1 or range 3. I'm sorry, range 2 or range 3. And you're going to spend your target lock, you're going to discard this card, and it's going to be your attack for the turn. But you may change one of your focus results, your eyeball result, you may change that to a crit. And this is going to cost you an additional 4 squad points to have it. Marksmanship, which is included in the core set, has this action header. That means you have to do this as an action instead of your target lock or your focus. When attacking this round, you may change one of your focus results to a crit result and all your other focus results to hit results. But you have to declare that you're doing that as your action. Okay? And that's going to cost you 3 squad points. The new elite talent we have is Expert Handling. It also requires an action, so you would have to declare that you're doing Expert Handling this turn in lieu of a focus or target lock or marksmanship, if you have this as your upgrade. For 1 action, perform a free barrel roll action. If you do not have the barrel roll action icon, receive 1 stress token. So obviously if Wedge takes this, or Luke Skywalker takes this, they don't have the barrel roll action in their upgrade bar, so they're going to take a stress token. You may then remove 1 enemy target lock from your ship, and that's really the reason to have this. It's a free barrel roll, but it also lets you shake a target lock. At this point in the game, you're probably not going to have a target lock because TIE fighters can't do that, but we will soon get to some Imperial ships that can, so that's why you might want to have expert handling to get rid of that target lock. Finally, we have two astromechs. They're both R5 units. The first one is R5 astromech. During the end phase, that's the cleanup phase, you may choose one of your face-up damage cards with the ship trait and flip it face down. Now remember, in the core set we have Determination, which lets you just brush off a face-up card with Pilot. This is how you handle one with ship. So if you have R5 astromech and Determination, you're going to do really well against critical damage. And don't forget the fact that you have shield tokens, and yes, those are included with the expansion as well. So you got your two shields, and then Determination lets you shake off any pilot critical damage. R5 astromech lets you turn ship damage into just normal damage, which is really, really good, especially if you get a direct hit. That's invaluable. That only costs 1 squad point, by the way. Then we have R5K6, who's a unique astromech. He costs 2 squad points. By the way, unique means you can only have one of this card title in the game. Later we'll see multiple cards that have Chewbacca as a title, or Luke Skywalker as a title, or Han Solo as a title. You can only have one card with that name in the game, period. R5K6 says, after spending your target lock, roll 1 defense dice. You're going to roll a green die after you discard your target lock. On an evade result, immediately acquire a target lock on the same ship. You cannot spend this target lock during the attack. So you get the target lock back after you've spent it as a free action if you roll an evade on a green die. And that costs 2 squad points. So again, you get 5 upgrades, a couple of which you've seen in the core set, but it's good to have extra ones because you never know. You may need marksmanship on a couple different ships. You may need expert handling, which will be included in further sets, and you can never have enough proton torpedoes. You're going to see a lot of proton torpedoes and advanced proton torpedoes as this game expands and unfolds. I can't say enough about both these pilots, especially Wedge. Having him in your set is really, really crucial. If you have these pilots plus the ones in the core set and an extra X-Wing, your game's going to be a lot better. So I strongly recommend getting this expansion. Make it one of the first ones you get. In fact, this and the TIE Fighter expansion you may want to get before you get a second core set, if you get a second core set at all. This may fulfill that need for you. So this is what's included, along with the shields, critical stress, these pilot tokens, everything else. It's going to run you between $12 and $15, which is pretty reasonable. So take a look for this X-Wing expansion after you have the core set and make your squad even bigger. I hope this has been helpful and given you an idea about some expansion you may want to add for your set. In the next video we'll talk about the TIE Fighter. Until then, GLHF. Good luck, have fun.